Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 11th episode of 30 Minutes Robotic Milking Edition. Time flies. I'm your host, Marcia Andrews, dairy science professor and extension specialist at the University of Minnesota in St. Paul. With us today, you also have your co-host, Jim Sulphur, dairy extension educator at the St. Cloud Regional Office. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Marcia, and welcome, everyone.
Yes, and thank you for joining us again. And hard to believe it's been 11 months, right, Jim? So before we bring our dairy producer guest today, I'm just gonna go over a few housekeeping items. So if you are watching this as a recorded webinar on YouTube, please join us next time for the live discussion. And to do so, please register at z.umn.edu/30minrm and register for the free Zoom webinar. I have turned on live transcript. If you don't want to see that, just turn it off at the bottom of your screen and we'll go away. Also, I want to make it clear that to participate in the discussion today, we would like you to use the Q&A box. Again, on the bottom of the screen, you can find that if you hover with your mouse. And enter your question or comment, and either Jim or I will read the question on your behalf, and the producer will then respond. We're very pleased today to have with us the producer from Iowa, Gerben, who milks about 600 cows, a little over 600 cows with 5 robots. So we're very pleased to have him join us today. And he's going to spend about 10 minutes or so giving us an overview of the dairy. I'll be moving the slides, showing the pictures. And after that, we'll have a discussion. So Gerben, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, so I'll go away for now and then have you tell us a little bit about your farm, and then we'll join you back for the discussion. Thank you.
Okay, I am Gurban Tenhufa. I started dairy farming in Iowa in 2006 with my wife, and we started off with the first barn in front of the hoop building, a little bit, yeah, in front of the hoop building. And that barn was built in 2006, and we milked about 140 cows. In 2008, my brother, as you probably heard here, I have a little bit of an accent. I'm from the Netherlands. My brother wanted to join the dairy operation, so we expanded to 350 cows, and then we built the bigger hoop barn. That barn is sand bedded, and in 2016 we built the tunnel barn on the left. That one is also sand bedded. And so 2016, we thought we have full-time labor for milking. It would be easier instead of with 400 cows, you had those half shifts. So in 2017, 18, we came to the conclusion it didn't make a big difference with labor issues. So we were so done with that we wanted to go into robotic milking because of the less labor stress, basically. And so in 2018, we installed 5 Ams Galaxy double boxes. So basically 10 stalls, 5 robotic arms. And that is basically equivalent, yeah, to 10 of the competition. We can milk about 130 cows on 1 unit. When we go to the next picture, we can see the hoop barn and the pole barn are connected to each other. So we have 3 robots in this barn. We have with each robot a separation pen and basically a little holding pen behind there. So the cows have to walk underneath finger gates in order to get access to the robot. We are running around 2.8, between 2.8 and 3 milkings a day, with about 80 pounds of milk. With each robot, we have sort pens to have, let's say, fresh cows, lame cows, sick cows. We can sort them out there and keep them in there for how long we prefer to. And that works out really well. So in this barn, you can also see we have this wide chase, let's say that's mid-screen, where all the chemicals and the milk run through. It is, so every robot, this barn is particularly in the winter really cold, and it is uninsulated. So it gets it down to about 8 Fahrenheit. We are able to close off the boxes with polyester panels. Through this chase, the milk goes through there with the chemicals, but it goes to the milk house, and in the milk house, or in the fans, sorry, in the robot rooms, we have fans which suck the warm air through this chase into the robot rooms. So during the winter months, we're able to keep the robots from freezing, and that works really well. Basically, yeah, on the next picture, we this is the tunnel ventilated barn. In this barn, well, basically this is just the best one you can think about. I'm really happy with how it works in this barn, since the climate in the barn is just really nice. It's in the winter months never freezing in here. Summer months it's never too warm, and in this barn we also train all the heifers on the robots, so we keep them in general for about a week to 10-12 days on one robot, and we train them there, so that way whenever we move them to the hoop barn, they're well trained for the robots. We still have 2 full-time help on the farm. So we have at the moment about 550 in milk. We have a lot of dry cows also. So we're around 640 total. With the 2 full-time labor, we can get all the work done. So we have one guy that comes every morning. He's here at 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. And then we have the night guy that always starts at 6 p.m. and he works up until 2 a.m. They do that both 5 days in the week. The other 2 days we have a part-timer only for the mornings. Basically what the guys do is fetch some cows, scrape stalls, keep the robot clean, change the filters, that kind of stuff. They treat cows. And this way, the labor stress for us is just like gone. We, even when the guys have off for vacation or anything, we are able to get the work done with ease. On this picture, you can see the robot. So basically 1 arm, 2 boxes. The one on the left is milking. The one on the right is being attached as the picture is. A lot of people think that you lose a lot of capacity with 1 arm with 2 boxes. I have to say that we have 130 cows on this particular robot, and there is, I mean, the arm can keep up. We still have 2.8, 2.9 milkings a day. We are really pleased with this system, especially since we are able to manually attach cows. So we ran into some issues with udder quality, and then mainly the udders had the rear teats too close. So cross teats just against each other. And with this robot Ams Galaxy, you're able to manually attach cows. That was a big thing for us to be able to do that. So that's why you can see it's a little bit, you go down in a little pit, and it is really easy to access cows there. Plus also with treatment of cows for mastitis, you can walk in the pit and treat the cows. So what the guys do in the morning, with they put an alarm on the cow what has, let's say, mastitis, and then they can, as soon as the alarm goes off, they just go up to the robot and are able to treat the cow. We do not run hoof baths in this barn. I just trim the cows myself. For basically the main thing is hair rewards. So we do have a deck flush, and that's basically the only thing on the robot. What keeps the hoofs clean. In this robot, we feed two grains, two different types of grain, just a regular pellet, high protein pellet, and a dry distillers grain. Sorry, dry gluten pellet. Let me think. So this robot arm has an individual prep cup. So each teat gets prepped before milking. So yeah, the competition has different systems. We like this system. It works, gets the job done. Teats are clean. We use all sand in the stall, so we have probably a little higher wear and tear on the equipment. But yeah, the yearly cost per box are around $7,700, and that includes labor, parts, and chemicals. So I could break it down to the box for parts only. Parts only is $3,100 per year. So the chemicals is basically the same amount, the $3,600. So that's why we are at around $7,700 a year. Yeah, this the robot rooms in the hoop barn and the pole barn, they have an extra heater in there to heat the rooms during the winter months. Yeah, that's basically it.
Excellent. Thank you for that overview, Gerben. I'm sure there'll be, as usual, some questions here for us to follow up with. It's very interesting, very unique in the sense that very low maintenance costs compared to what my experience has been with some of the robots. So that's excellent to know. Thank you for bringing that up and sharing that. Let's see if we have any questions yet. We don't have open questions, but one thing I think I forgot to ask you earlier, do you have automatic feed push up for in the barns?
No, we do not.
Okay.
Use a skid loader, and we have a tire up front what we use for pushing up the feed, and
Okay.
we feed always ourselves about 3 times a day.
3 times only. Okay. Wow. Interesting.
We feed in the morning at 7.
Mhm.
And then in general, I push up the feed around noon, and then again at 6 at night, and then another time around 9 p.m.
Okay. So do you think it would be difficult because you have, basically different barns and everything? Do you think it would be difficult for you guys to have those? Because we've seen a difference in one of our studies that we did, Jim and I, that we saw a big improvement in productivity just by having those automatic robots. There's many on the market today, right? Would it be difficult maybe with the setup that you have in order to use
It's a money issue probably.
Right, but we got 11 pounds of milk, Gerben. So think about that.
Well, the thing is, we need to buy 2 of those units since we have 2 separate ones, and there's no concrete in between, and the winter months are way too harsh, in my opinion, to let that unit run outside.
Sure. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, also a reason I forgot to tell that a reason why we purchased these robots compared to the competition is that these robots, you can keep updating them indefinitely. Basically, the competition in general has like every 6 years they come out with a new one, 5-6 years they come out with a new one, and then new parts do not fit on the old robots. And with this, with the Ams Galaxy, you can keep updating the robot. So let's say the oldest in the United States is from let's say 2010. They can have the exact same software as our box.
Oh, okay. But the parts and the software, but I thought the software can always be updated. So you're saying the whole robot theoretically could be upgraded somehow without having to reinstall something, is what you're saying.
Yes.
You basically can get a new
basically
model.
the arm dictates how the cow will be attached.
Okay.
So the box itself, okay, yeah, you might not change that. So the inlet and the outlet where the cow come in and out. But the arm itself, any update on it, let's say we have still a regular camera with a laser, it come out with a 3D that can be implemented on every single robot.
Okay.
The oldest one in the United States up until, let's say, the newest one.
Okay, sounds good. Jim, there is a question there that relates a bit to maintenance anyway. So if you want to ask that question.
Sure, Gurban. The question is, do you do the maintenance or a lot of the maintenance yourself, or is that done by a service company? And then you'd want to comment, since you're our first Ams Galaxy and they're not that common, just how hard maintenance is, just a little more expand on that maintenance piece.
Yeah. So basically, my brother, when he joined, and he came over from the Netherlands, he always has been a mechanic in the Netherlands. So I am more the cow guy. My brother has been a mechanic, so he does mainly all the maintenance. The monthly maintenance is done in combination with the dealer, but the regular maintenance is done by my brother. We all have had training in Pennsylvania for the robots, so we've had a week long of training on how to basically fix the robot or see how, in detail how the robot works. And that way we can keep our costs down. Also, a lot of the parts you can find online. So we quite often for, let's say, valves, where all kinds of electronic valves, we can type in a number on Google and you can find it for, let's say, half the price. So that can keep costs down also. Interesting.
There's a question here more related to some of the metrics in the robot itself. Do you know what's your box time per cow?
Box time per cow is around 7 minutes, a little bit over 7 minutes.
7 minutes, so very similar to what we see in our research for different.
Yeah, it says time per milking 7 minutes and 17 seconds.
Okay, yeah, so it's about the average. We see usually about 7.5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, great.
So what are the wear parts on Ams Galaxy with sand? What are the things that are hard, or how does tell us a little bit about how that sand works, because that's always a challenge, I think.
So the wear parts in general, where we have the most, so the arm is an industrial arm. So that arm has been used on every plant in the United States, basically, where they have robotic arms. So the maintenance on that is fairly low. It is like grease them twice a year, and that's about it. The cow can step on it, kick on it, put it in all kinds of directions, but the arm itself seemed to me, I mean, after 3 years of use, it's kind of indestructible. The end part on the arm, that is where the laser and the camera is, that can wear a little bit from kicking of the cow. So you have the little gripper, what preps the cow. There is some maintenance on that. But the main thing what we do is replace hoses. That's the main thing.
Okay. So did you mention somatic cell counts? I can't remember. How do you manage mastitis? You said the cows can be treated in the robot, etc. But is that conductivity? How do you select your cows?
At the moment, we have only conductivity on the robot, so liters, milk weights and conductivity. The conductivity, that's where we base mastitis on. So conductivity higher as 10 is automatically dumped. And if the conductivity, every conductivity cow, high conductivity cow is being checked morning by the guys we have working here. And
you're checking visually? Is it CMT? What is it?
It's always visually.
Just visually. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question, Gerben. Again, your Ams Galaxy is the first one we've had. Is there any kind of activity or reproduction? What do you do from a reproduction standpoint to get your cows pregnant?
So our robot has the same colors as, let's say, the GIA ones, the Cow Scout ones. So we have this neck collar around the neck with the cows, what is from NEDAP. I mean, it's widely available in the United States under all brands of robots and parlors. And that one has the activity and the rumen, well, what we call it, eating time, basically. And based on that, we were using already the system before we installed the robots from NEDAP, and we are able to use it on the dairy cows or on these robots also.
That's good. Excellent.
So how do you use that system? Do you get generated health lists if rumination is down, or what are other kind of health lists or anything either come through the Ams Galaxy or NEDAP system, or are those two kind of combined?
So they are combined. So the program where our Galaxy robot runs on is Uniform Agri, and that one is they made it specifically for this one specifically for the robot, of course. So it does have everything combined in there. In the morning, I always check conductivity list and basic milk deviation, and based on that, I check cows. I used to look way more into the eating of the cows, but the milk weights tell you a whole lot already. So if they're down in milk and the conductivity is high, then I check them already.
So just to clarify, Gerben, the Uniform Agri software you're using does not necessarily combine everything that changed in the cow into a list together. You have to make manually, so to speak, show cows that had any change, and then you have to kind of find them, or
basically on the home page of the computer program, you can see all the alarm cows.
Okay.
Yeah, so you click on the alarm cows and then you are able to access all the data.
Okay, so the alarm cows, the system is taking into account different things, not only milk deviation, but other aspects. Okay, good.
Yeah,
I was just clarifying that because I'm not as familiar with the Uniform Agri system. So it's incorporating everything, hopefully together in order to find the cows that might be in trouble.
You're able to, with this program, to make your own reports.
Oh, okay.
Making your own reports, you can add anything in there, basically what you want, from group number to cow number with milk deviation, conductivity, activity, or heat detection. You can combine it all in one report if you want to.
Okay. So you're primarily breeding your cows based on activity. You don't do a lot of synchronization.
That's correct. We all the cows are in general bred of the program. The synchronization off-sync pre-sync is only used with dirty cows, and in general after the first breeding and they're still open,
Okay.
we quite often set them up to be cycle again.
Okay, so very minimum use of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Just
Gerben, can
curious.
you comment? One of the most important things we always hear is the dealer support, company support. Can you comment on your experience with dealer support and company support from Ams Galaxy?
In my opinion, excellent. We had been milking in a Westphalia parlor prior to the robots, and so we had the option for, of course, for different robots also. We had a really good working relation with our Westphalia dealer, still do. But we thought, for us, we thought the Ams Galaxy was the better option. And our dealer, is half hour away from the farm.
Okay.
Give him a call any time of the day or night, summer, year round, and we can solve issues if there are any.
Okay, that's good. That's only half an hour away. That's great. Let's see. We talked about feeding, and you said you have different pallets. And you said you feed your PMR once a day, right? And push up 3 times. Any other things about feeding, Jim, that would be nice to know? He's feeding gluten feed and a formulated pellet. And you can feed up to 2 types of feeds, or could you feed more? How does this box work?
We have 3 types of feed. We also have a
3.
Glucose in the robot.
Oh, okay.
We feed to the fresh cows.
Okay.
First 30 days, if I'm correct. We installed everything at once at the beginning. And yeah, so basically 2 pallets are on the robot.
Okay. And you said you don't do any pre-fresh training for your heifers. You train them as they come into the robot barn, and then you get them to go through, or do you do any pre-fresh training?
No, we do not do any of that. We found out that, or in our case, if you start pushing heifers through the robot prior to calving, it is way more stressful as after calving. In general, right after calving, they become in general quite a lot calmer, and we really like doing it the way we have done it for the past 3 years. So basically, the heifer calves, and we bring it to the big tunnel barn, and that's where we train them basically.
And you fetch then how many times a day for the heifers?
They're being fetched 4 times a day, since we have in the morning and at night the guy walking around. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, he will push those heifers in the holding pen behind the robot and make sure they go through and are being milked correctly. And he does it again at noon, same thing again. And then the night guy basically repeats the same things again. 6 p.m. he pushes them in and makes sure they get milked.
And how long does it take them for getting trained and going their own?
It varies by the heifer.
Okay.
So you have certain heifers, they have it, they got it done in 3 days, and then some it takes like 14 days. And then we also found out that certain breeds of cows work better than other cows, so as other breeds. And in our case, the Mont Belliards, we had a group of Mont Belliards 3 years ago. Well, they culled themselves because of their behavior, and they were wild.
They're more wild, okay.
Yeah, and then the Jersey crossbreds we have, they learn quick.
Okay.
The brown Swiss crossbreds we have do also a tremendous job on the robots. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think
genetics make a difference.
Yes, it does make a difference. So we now also look specifically for Robot Pro bulls, specifically to widen the rear teeth placement. The cleft is too strong. So that's why we started using brown Swiss in order they have bigger teeth. And in general, the udder cleft is not as strong as the Holstein. Of course, you have to understand that in the 15 years we've been milking here in Iowa, we at the beginning, we bought basically all the cows we have. So the expansion we have done from 120 to 350, that was not from our own growing, but it was, you buy 200 head more cows, and from going from 350 to 640, you buy another 200 head of cattle. And of course, we had our own heifers at the time also. But with buying all those herds, you don't always get the best quality udders. That's why we started using AAA in combination with some crossbreeding.
Okay, excellent. So we actually, time flies. We're going to stop the recording here and officially finish the episode. But if we have a little more discussion, if you don't mind, we can stay a few more minutes. But I really would like to thank everyone who attended today. Our episode 11 already of 30 Minutes Robotic Milk Edition. Special thanks to you, Gerben, for taking the time today to be with us and answering questions and telling us about your operation. And I'd like to invite everyone to join us again for the last episode of the year. Hard to believe it's the end of the year, on December 16th. So thank you, everyone. And we will stop recording now. I hope to see you again next time.